Right now, our application can create, update, and delete the items. Let's now refactor what we did. Because we have a lot of code that is not nice, we would like to extract some database calls and put them in the same file with database calls. Maybe some components that we reuse to put on the special place and use them on the other places in the application, and so on. Let's start with database calls. All database calls we would like to have in the firestore file, and those that are not used we would like to delete. So let's start with those that are in other files than this one. Let's see. In checkbox, we do not have any call. In task form, we also don't have any call. In task items, we have call. We have a call of updating the task completed at. Let's extract it into the function. And call it update task. And here we'll take the task ID, string, and the object that will replace some attributes in task. DTO is abbreviation for data transfer object, and it's used for some objects that are part of some bigger object, for example, part of task and so on. And this function will do the updates. Task ID, and here we will have the task update, and we will call this function with task ID and this object. We have a name clash. So either we will not use this application, this method, and let's call this on value change. And this method we can extract into the firestore and export. Here the function is calling just one row, so maybe we can just take it and put it here instead of the call, function call, like this. Then we can also delete this whole function. Let's go further. How about tasks? These have only some unused imports, so let's clear this. And it's already using the function from the firestore file. Let's take a look into create task. Here we have also database call, so let's move it elsewhere. and we want to move only this part because this part is dependent on this screen. So let's extract this into an extra function. We can use IDE helpers. Let's extract this call into special function. We can name it create task. And this will take task object and it will just save it. So here we will just call create task. Like this, and we can move this into our store. Okay, let's go next. Update. We also have a call here. We do the deletion. We are searching for the item and we are updating the item. So let's extract each of the calls to separate methods and extract them away from this file. First, we'll start with the deletion. So delete task, and we'll delete by ID. We'll copy all this call. And we will use it right here. Next, we'll get the search. So find task by ID. So let's copy this functionality. And let's say that this method will return the task, some object, and it will be the task object, task type, like this. We need to make this compatible with the return type, so let's create a mapper. So if the document exists, we want to return an object as ID, and this will be doc ID as name, and has created that, and it has completed that. Yes, we are returning the promise. of the task type. Now we can use this find task here. So let's write find task by task ID, and then once it's successful, we can set name, or if it's not successful, we will just log an error. And by these few lines, we have replaced all this. Last is updating the value, but we already have a method for this, so we can just replace this with update task, and we'll take task ID and an object that we will update. And we can delete the rest like this. Let's move the methods that we have created to the separate file here and export them. And import for the use. Like this. We can also remove unused imports, spaces. Here we can also remove the React and use the proper import here, like this. Let's test whether everything works after the refactoring. Let's add one item. Let's update it. And finally, let's delete the sixth item. Everything seems to work. Let's save these changes so far in Git. While refactoring, it's good practice to save changes more often, so that we can also return back if something doesn't work. If we go far with refactoring, the application will stop working. It can always return to the previous checkpoint. Next, we are using on several places the ion icons for the header right component. So we can extract this component and make it more general so we can reuse it. Let's try this. We'll create the header right icon or button. And let's just copy one of those. And create a component. So it will be the header right button component. Something like this. And we definitely want the onPress to be given from the outside of the component. So let's delete it for right now and create the props. And it will be on press. It's a function. And we also probably want the name of the component, so we can change the icon. Let's probably define also the name for the icon, and we will allow only trash or plus, and also use it here in the name. Like this. All the rest we will leave hard-coded here because we don't want the user to change it. If in the future we would like to change something, we can add it again to the props and propagate. Let's export and use it wherever we can. So first is update tasks. Let's use it here. And put the onPress method and icon. Icon here will be trash, and onPress we can copy from here. The rest we can remove. And maybe just change places of these attributes so it's for better readability, like this. Let's try to save it and see if something changed. The component is here. So let's also use it for the other place in the navigation here. And onPress will be just copy paste. We'll take this and for the icon we will use add, like this. Again, we can clear the unused imports. And we can see that the plus didn't disappear, it stayed. Like this, we have extracted the component and we can reuse it again, and we can have the same color, the same size, the same margin for every component, and once we decided to change it, we change it on one place. Let's save our changes into Git.